Negative self-talk is like it's like a muscle if you think about it. We do it so often to ourselves, and if you're like me, you have a lot of negative self-talk when it comes to getting things done. So what a lot of us tend to do is we try to force positive thoughts into our mind. We try to reprogram our mind by watching videos on YouTube, right? We might be scrolling social media, we might read a book. When you sit back after consuming all of this information and trying to force feed it, and you'll watch how absolutely nothing changes in your life, right? Everything stays the same, and it almost gets worse because now you have all of this information at your fingertips. You do nothing with it, and it makes that negative self-talk even louder. And there's a reason for why this is happening, and the reason is very simple, and that's you cannot think your way into positive thoughts, right? The only way to instill positive thoughts is to back it up with action. And I'm gonna give you some actionable steps that actually helped me recently. So I wanna start by telling you a quick story. And last year, July of 2023, I lost my supplement store. I closed down for business, and I remember walking out of the back door for the very last time. And in that moment, I didn't realize that my life would drastically change, because for the previous 3 years, not only was it a place for business that served as a space for me to create content, right? It allowed me to be creative in that space. I had a private gym in the back. I had an office similar to the setup you see behind me. And I filmed content there. I did business there. I brought my family there. So it served as a big part of my daily routine, of my daily process. And literally overnight, all of that changed. So from that day, for the next few months, from July 1st, 2023 until sometime in October, I slowly fell into this deep negative mindset. And it didn't happen right away. It was a process in the wrong direction. Because first of all, losing my business made me feel like I was a failure. I had so much of my identity attached to it that I just felt like everyone was going to be looking at me in a different light now that I didn't have this store. And just that thought alone is draining. So if you've ever experienced something like that, where you attached so much of your identity to something and then it goes away, you in a way question who you are or what it is that you do. The following things were, I started slipping on my diet, right? I started missing my normal wake up times. I wasn't training as consistently. My content is almost non-existent. I was very consistent on posting on Instagram during that time when I had my store. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see there's a huge gap because I couldn't get that motivation back. And not only did all of those things suffer, my personal life also began suffering. And that reason is I was no longer performing my daily actions that kept my self-talk positive, that reinforced who I was as a person, aside from being a business owner. And those actions had nothing to do with my store. That daily process, right? It was something I should have still kept up with, even though I just lost my store. So this leads to my first point. The reason our thoughts are negative or continue to get worse is because we don't keep our word to ourselves. So again, in my example, just because I lost my store, that didn't mean I lost my ability to continue with my routine. I still had all of the tools necessary to get my daily processes done, right? I still could have woken up early. I still could have went to the gym. I was still able to track all of my macros. It might have even been easier now, right? I had the ability to create content, right? I have this setup behind me where I could easily create content, right? But when in losing my store, I gave into this woe is me victim mentality, and I allowed my emotions to dictate my actions. So I just slowly began losing trust in myself. And if you're in a similar position where you're constantly losing trust within yourself, you can't keep your word to yourself, I'm gonna tell you what helped me get back on track. And it comes down to making a plan. And now the problem with most plans is we try to cram too much on our plates. We try to stack too much on our plate in the beginning, and then we get overwhelmed with just the thought of our plan, the thought of acting on what we just set out to do. So imagine this, right? This is just an example. Stay with me. If someone wanted to start a diet and get on a workout routine, they created this plan that said, I'm gonna work out 6 days a week, and I'm gonna eat 5 meals a day. When they probably only worked out 6 days the past year, and they probably eat 2 to 3 meals a day. And all of a sudden they want to go 6 days training, 5 structured meals a day. Imagine how overwhelming that would be for you, right? Imagine going from this normal lifestyle and trying to flip it completely upside down overnight. Some people might have the capacity to get that done, but for the majority of us, that's why that person in that scenario usually fails within the first week or two, because it's too much. It's too much to comprehend in such a short period of time. So instead of making this grand plan, the type of plan you have to make is a very simple and attainable plan. So back to that example so for this person who wants to get on this diet and exercise routine, instead of making this grand plan in the beginning, what they should do for the first couple of weeks is set a alarm. For example, they can set an alarm 30 to 45 minutes earlier every day and just get up to that alarm and go for a walk. Go for a 5 to 10 minute walk, right? There's the exercise portion of it. And for the meals, maybe they make a plan to not go to a drive-through and to drink only water, right? Very simple, easy, attainable things that you won't notice too much throughout your daily normal routine. And this is how you ease it into your life to create this new routine. And once you have this plan, this is the most important part of this whole process of changing your negative mindset and reinforcing it with positive thoughts. And that's take action. Now, this is the most important step, and it is to take action, because taking action is what validates your thoughts, and it's the way to build trust within yourself. So if you say you're gonna wake up at 5 a.m. and go for a 10-minute walk, if you wake up at 5 a.m. and go for that 10-minute walk, I guarantee you're gonna feel something inside that's better than if you were to have slept past that 5 a.m. wake up time and rushed to work. That W you just collected in the morning is gonna set that tone for your day. And you build on top of that slowly and gradually. As you continue to stack those small wins and accomplish those little but difficult things to do throughout your day, that momentum will just build and build and build. And like for me, I had to start with, in October of last year, I had to start with giving up alcohol, right? Whenever that temptation came up, I had to not cave in and stick to my word to myself. And each time I acted in that right direction, it just reinforced my positive self-talk about not needing to have a drink of alcohol, right? So once you get into this cycle of building up momentum, the next thing is you can't let off the gas. You can't get comfortable or celebrate too early, because that's what a lot of people do, is after a couple of weeks of maintaining this new set of daily habits, they feel they've earned the right to have a cheat meal, or they've earned the right to go back and take a drink, or earn the right to sleep in. But when you're reprogramming your mind, it's gonna take quite some time, because you're trying to create this new normal. Your old normal produced certain results that you don't like. In the middle is where you build off of the action that you're taking consistently. And doing that for an extended period of time will slowly create this new normal. But if you celebrate too early in the middle and you ease off the gas, then you're just gonna slowly fall back to this old normal that you didn't like. And I say that from experience, because I had to deal with that for the past few months, where when I was trying to give up alcohol prior to October, I would go for a week or two without it, and then I would say, I can probably afford a drink on this weekend because I've stayed away from it for so long. I'll be able to handle it. But then that one weekend turned back into a regular habit of just drinking multiple times throughout the week. So I had to learn not to celebrate. And in my case, I don't plan on drinking alcohol again. It's been 6 months now. I feel amazing, and that's something I don't want to go back to. So I have this new normal now, right? My old normal was not just social drinking, it was drinking whenever I felt woe is me, victim mentality. Whenever I felt tired or exhausted, I went to this drink. My new normal is I don't need any of that. I can silence these negative thoughts with positive actions. So once you build the momentum and you get this new daily process set in place, you've now created this new cycle. The new cycle is now set. And with this new normal, it's gonna come new results, right? Better results than you ever experienced on this side of it. And this change, like I said, happens very slowly. Because 6 months ago, if you would have told me that I would feel this way now, that I would have this such positive self-talk within me, I wouldn't have believed it, because I couldn't see it in those moments of continuously doing things I shouldn't have been doing, right? Not taking action in the right direction. But now that I feel I'm much more aligned with who I want to be, so I'm taking action towards becoming that person, it validates my positive thoughts, and it makes me realize that those negative thoughts, they don't hold any weight. I hope this helps. I hope I articulated this well, because what I want you to do with this information is I want you to get motivated to start. And you have to remember this. One key thing is you have to acknowledge where you're at mentally and accept it. Accept where you're at, and accept that you're where you're at mentally because of the things you've done in the past, or what you've consistently been doing up to this point. And once you've done that, make a plan. Like I said, a very simple plan that you can take action on today or tomorrow. Keep it simple, stay consistent until it becomes that new normal. And this can take months. It's been 6 months for me, and I'm still going. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I feel amazing. I hope you will also come to this point. And I want to leave you with this. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. And this was said by the late, great philosopher Epictetus. So again, I hope this helps in some way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.